This is your confirmation to stop hiding. The things you may be ashamed of may be the exact things another man needs to hear, right? I'm going to show you how a lot of times we treat this life and things that we go through and in our time that we feel like, oh, it's too afraid to share, how we can kind of hide that away in the basement when really that's actually the biggest thing, the biggest part of our story. The one thing we do need to be transparent about in order to see transformation, even in others, and how much it can inspire other people. So a lot of times I know we hear testimony and it can be something where, people are so focused on like it has to look, you have to look some perfect way, or it has to come out some perfect way, or you have to have everything put together. And a lot of the times that's what's actually hold us back from being genuine and being real and like walking through a story that people can actually resonate with and actually step out and say, wow, that actually gives me the courage to step out. That gives me the courage to see that I have the abilities, I can endure, I can make it through. And a lot of times if we just realize we stop hiding that former version, like you heard I was saying, like in the basement, meaning that we kind of treat ourselves like that gremlin, we hide away. Or right now, recently, I'll be transparent with you guys. I had a situation where I'm going through a transition in a job and I just presented something and I wanted answers. And immediately it was cut off, taken away from me. I have no job. And it actually put me in a humble place and being thankful to the Lord, a way to rejoice and being like, well, Lord, you gave me the answer without having any answer from them. It actually gave me an answer where it cut me off from something and allowed me to step in. But that doesn't stop me from being real with you guys, transparent with you guys, to continue to walk in the same joy and obedience that he calls me to. Just because I'm going through something, it does not reflect in my heart, because truly I am okay. I don't have to be fake about it. But we can be real about the things we're going through and realize, oh, wow, this is how this part of my story really helped me surrender, endure, grow in my faith, or this part of my life, and actually see that transition as a man of like, even when trials do come and it doesn't look all perfect, or these parts of my story don't look all great, right? These guys that did struggle with lust, they did struggle with pornography, they did struggle with these addictions. And a lot of times you want to hide these things in the basement, right? I call that quote unquote basement of what I learned about, and realizing, no, you actually, the one that you see is like worthless, or the version of yourself that sees like an embarrassment, is actually the one that's actually is showing great abilities. Or that thing that you can shame yourself and see yourself as a procrastinator is really actually on the other side of that a diligent man. And so the other person that you see as lazy is actually very disciplined. But a lot of times we keep ourselves hidden in the basement and we don't allow ourselves to shine light in what we're going through and allowing others to see that. Where if it actually shed the light, it would bring light onto those, it would shed light on those lies. So it would bring out that darkness, and really you see that the darkness would scatter, and it would allow us to then walk in true identity of that. And I really want to expose that, because you have something to share and you have something to tell, and not about, it's all about rambling on of your words, but truly in a place of, hey, you know what? Being diligent or being watchful of how you're sharing things with certain people, but to be like, hey, I'm in this situation, or, share your faith and be like, yeah, I'm here. I'm humble beginnings. I'm trying to be fake. Like I was even at a business club introducing myself to guys. And I said, no, genuinely, this is where I'm at with this job. It was not going in the avenue or working out in the way I saw it fit. And I'm starting my life coaching, but guess what? Hey man, I'm just starting out, and I'm trying to build up something. I want to encourage men. I want to lead them in Christ, and showing them my exact thing of how I want to go about that. And saying like, but it's humble beginnings right now. I just want to get content out for people to see, to share it. And, people are looking like, oh, how much revenue are you bringing in right now? I'm like, actually not bringing anything. Right now it's humble beginnings. But I know when I stick to my process that the Lord's going to have more on the other side for me. It's going to grow and branch out into more things. But I'm just faithful right now and I trust. And these guys, it's like I don't have an answer for them of income where they might be making 7 figures a year. And so be it. Why am I going to hide in a basement and be fake and act like, oh yeah, it's actually going well, and I have to be this suit and tie for you guys? I don't have to be anything for you. I don't have to also be bullied or be bought by money. I don't have to be even in a job. Like I don't have to be somebody who's being fake or cowering down and afraid to lose my job, when it's like, wow, I'm actually on the other side of that. I'm actually showing myself a coward and not showing myself approved unto the Lord, and I'm actually not standing up for other men. I'm not actually being an example of Christ, because we like to confine ourselves and hold ourselves in and be safe and be complacent. And so a lot of things that you are so ashamed of is really the thing that somebody needs to see, needs to hear. I mean, like that action that you take, maybe that thing that inspires like 5, even if it's 5 people around you, 10 people around you, one man that just saw you do something. Wow, no matter what the outcome was, he stepped in boldness and in faith. Now that takes some courage. Wow, Lord. And then like, you don't even know, like that person that you didn't even realize you affected in your life goes home and be like, wow, what am I doing with myself? And I'm actually not stepping into, I'm not stepping up. I'm not being an example. I'm not standing up for the innocent, right? I'm letting being taken advantage of and things like that, because we're so ashamed and feeling like we don't have the power or the confidence to even take that, because we haven't been shown that, or we don't believe that about ourselves. So it really starts a belief of that. I just want to encourage you guys, you are that man, you are that person to step out and be bold. And one thing is to realize is that shame and guilt and condemnation does not come from Christ, it comes from the enemy. That's one. So when we really understand that shame and guilt does not come from Christ, right? Correction comes from the Lord, and we have to, there's repentance there and we have to be corrected. But shame and guilt and constantly living in the shame, or ashamed of yourself, or ashamed of this, ashamed of that, or ashamed of where you're even not at, or or what you haven't even done yet, but you'll shame yourself in that and sit in that shame, that does not come from the Lord. So the minute we can recognize that, hey, that shame is not from the Lord, now we have to expose that lie, right? And shine light on that and be like, I am a capable man, and that's through the word, right? Trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Trust in him, right? So if we really trust in him, that he will direct all of our paths, like where we need to go. The Bible talks about like he will direct us exactly where we need to go. So if we're stepping into something, it's not a shame of, because I'm not there yet, therefore I'm less of something, or I'm lazy, or I'm indisciplined. There is things we have to be corrected on too, actually, like, hey man, step out in discipline. Hey man, you're being complacent, you need to step out in boldness. But at the same time, that thing that you're so ashamed of, that transparency can actually not only help somebody else, but that can actually shine that light on yourself and say like, wow, you know what? The more that I'm able to be honest and truthful, and the truth will, what does the Bible say? Set you free, right? For Jesus, the way, the truth, and the life, and it says the truth sets you free. The minute that now I understand shame, and then secondly, I can expose that by just speaking truth of whatever it is that I am in. Right now, I am struggling with this, right? Right now, I actually just got fired from my job, or I just got laid off, and I'm starting a business and I actually don't have any funds coming in. That's okay. The moment you can be honest and truthful with yourself, and I'm just using that as an example to help encourage you guys and stir up in your faith, that nothing has to be perfect, right? Or what you see as perfect is what I'm meaning, to then be a good enough story, a good enough platform, right? It's like, but then you're trying to be your own God in that sense. It's like, let me build up my own platform, so then therefore I can be looked at as taken seriously enough. Therefore, then I can start to propel myself. No, it's God that does that. He's actually trying to put you in a position. The reason that you keep feeling like you're falling and shaming and getting down is because that's the whole point. You're trying to build up your own platform rather than allowing the master builder to put the abilities in you and to trust that he will help you build it. And that he will set you on the platform you need to be on, instead of this false pretense or this false platform that you think you need to be on, and shaming yourself that you haven't built it fast enough and why you're not there. So the minute we can do that and then expose that by just telling the truth of our situation, now that will lead us into that last part of, all right, that action step is once you actually speak out that truth, now I have to be accountable as a man to then look at myself and go, okay, am I living in that truth? Now that I have that truth, but the truth that Christ has said about me is I am capable, I have the abilities, right? And that now, that thing that I'm actually ashamed of is actually the truth of it is that no, there's no shame or guilt and condemnation in Christ Jesus. So now I'm attacking that with the word, right? Cutting off that lie, okay? And now realizing like, no, it's actually a beautiful thing, and seeing how the Lord's using this situation to shape me and allow me to not put on a religious face mask, but to take off the mask and now be in a place of, oh, I can just be truthful and raw and real And that's the best place that the Lord needs me to be. I'm right where I need to be. The minute we can expose that, and I want you men to realize that you're right in the place you need to be, even if that is a place of nothing worked out and you've seen failure, but to realize, yeah, because a lot of times we mask ourselves and shame ourselves and box ourselves in to what the Lord actually has for us, and we can open up and surrender to that. Exposing that, guys, is the victory just in itself. Not saying that we have the success here or the breakthrough here or the outcome there, right? Like what we already wanted. The real victory is first recognizing that, so then we can actually walk in those abilities, walk in that strength, walk in that obedience, walk in that purpose. But if we don't allow ourselves to actually let go and surrender that, then we never have a foundation of truth. So we're always feeling like we're scraping ourselves out of a hole and not actually allowing ourselves to be truthful about just where we're at. Not that, again, when I say truthful where you're at, I'm very careful with my words because it doesn't mean that's who you are. Hey, I'm in a situation where I was lost a job, or I was struggling, say you're a guy struggling with pornography, and the Lord is actually putting me in a place right now. I'm just doing simple steps to surrender to Him and do better with my free time. But that's where I'm at. That's what I've been doing with my time. And it's really like kind of put me down, depressed. So right now, I'm actually, guys, working on a way to work on my health, for example. Now that's a beautiful way to be like, another man's going, wow, dude, wow, you're so honest. Yeah, I was so like hungry about that and like looking for something more in life that I would actually shame myself and just look for pornography and lust and realize it's a symptom. And I've actually just, guys, been doing these simple steps to walk out of that and just be truthful. So I want to be raw and truthful and say that I don't have it all figured out, but I am Christ. I am His. I am chosen by Him. I am given abilities. And now I'm just realizing that, hey, you know what? I have to be truthful about my situation, realize I haven't been obedient using my abilities because I've been, again, putting myself in a basement and putting that, thing about closing that darkness. And I like to use the basement because you're closing the door, right? You're leaving yourself in a dark room, right? There's no light that's being let in. So if there's no light that can be let on in your situation, then how do you expect to expose any lies and actually walk out of that light at the end of the tunnel, right? That saying that we hear, like to actually walk in truth. And so that's where I'm really walking back to. If you really are somebody that's really walking and like feel like you're living in shame, but now you can realize you don't have to be ashamed. You can actually use it as your story, right? And learn how to walk that out with purpose and to use your abilities. Again, apply for one-on-one coaching. I want to go through this with you to really help you as men and equip you so we can be trained up and walk this together as we iron sharpens iron, okay? So do not be afraid, do not be ashamed, but if anything, walk in that conviction that you are Christ, you are a son of God, and you are meant for a purpose to be used, and there's a calling for your life to not only worship Christ, but then to be used in the abilities that you have within you for something greater than yourself, all right? I hope you guys take this and receive this, and I'll see you on the next video.